Bernardo, another draw. I imagine that is incredibly frustrating, a bit of a sucker punch.
Yeah, definitely, especially conceding in the last minutes. It's always a tough one to take. I think we deserved a bit better today, but at the end, football is all about details, and yeah, it is what it is.
What do you think City were missing out there today? Do you think that you had enough chances to kill that game off?
Yeah, I would say definitely that, killing the game, especially the first half. But even we had space to run, and we had chances to run in the second half because they were taking a bit more risks. And yeah, we lacked a bit that decision, the last pass, the finish, and yeah, we paid for it in the last minutes.
In terms of the title race, 6 points now behind Arsenal. Where do you think this leaves you in your title battle?
Well, in a more difficult position because 6 points it's already something. But yeah, I've said it like a few weeks ago when we were 2 points behind them. We have to focus on ourselves. There's no point in looking at Arsenal or whoever if we don't do our job. So the last 2 games we didn't do our job. There's no point in looking at Arsenal. We need to focus on ourselves and win our games.
Quick turnaround, another game coming thick and fast midweek. How pivotal and crucial is it going to be to get 3 points from that one?
Yeah, after two draws, we definitely need to start winning games, and it's a good game against Brighton at home to try to do that. We'll rest, prepare that game, and try to go back to winning ways. We definitely need that.
These are City's last 8 Premier League results, and that ruthlessness we saw in that last run just halted a little bit in the last 2 back-to-back draws. Interesting to hear from Bernardo Silva saying no point looking at Arsenal if we don't do our job.
Yeah, definitely, because you look at that winning results, and arguably anyone in the league would want them results, but it isn't good enough to kind of emulate what Arsenal are doing. So it is frustrating, and it is worse, especially when you concede in the last minute. But yeah, as long as they try and get back onto winning ways in the next game. And again, it's going to be difficult because now they have to wait for, not only do they have to beat Arsenal, they have to wait for them to drop points elsewhere. So they've made the job more difficult. But if there's any team that can catch them and believe they can catch them, it will be Man City.
Yeah, he described the way in which they played and said that they just really struggled to find that final moment, the last pass or the final finish.
Well, I think he summed it up well. I think he was out there. The game did get stretched, and there's a team that when you're leading and you haven't put a team to the sword and get that second goal, then you're concerned, really, because it was too open. Chelsea had a lot of space, particularly down there, Chelsea's left side. They kept changing the ball out, and there was no midfield opposing for City, and they had far too much time to turn on the ball and get at the back four. So, yeah, it became open, and City didn't use the space as well as they did when they had a lack of space, funny enough, in the first half. So I think, I think they let themselves down there a little bit. But I think what he's saying is absolutely right, and that's what Pep would be saying in the dressing room. We've got to now concern ourselves of getting back on the horse. Still not a bad run. They're unbeaten for so many games. Yeah. But the problem is 6 points now, it takes the pressure off Arsenal. They can afford to draw a couple. And when they play that pivotal game, when they play Arsenal at home, they needed to be sort of 2 points away, breathing down Arsenal's neck. Now, will they get that into that position? That is the key to the whole winning of the Premier League, I feel. And Arsenal now, it's Arsenal's to lose.
Yeah, but also that game, they needed to go into that game and Arsenal feeling they can't afford to lose, which they can now. They can go into that game, lose that game and still be 3 points ahead. So that's the kind of pressure it's taken off Arsenal going forward.
Yeah, just wondering about your own experience having been in a position like this before with Manchester City. I mean, you both said that run, anyone would love to have that run, but I guess it also shows us the standards City have, the fact that they know what it takes to get it over the line, that they look so disappointed. They look as if they've lost. I know it was a late goal, but that is what the faces look like.
Yeah, definitely. It always feels like that, especially when it's late on. But from my experience, we were more points behind a team that had more experience than Arsenal, so it can be done. But again, Arsenal, you would rather be in Arsenal's position because you have the points on the board and you have the opportunity to go on and win the league. But if there's one team that can catch Arsenal, it will be City.
Yeah, and
it's also a time, sorry, Jules, it's also a time over Christmas and New Year. So many games are packed in. They haven't lost a game. It isn't like they've lost one and drawn one and, it's catastrophe. They'll go again. They've got a lot on their plate and obviously That's where Pep, you know, Doku didn't play. We thought he might start, but there's a rest for him for some reason, and then he'll go again in the midweek. So you've got to, as a manager, you've got to rest players and have the energy right.
Yeah, they go again midweek against Brighton. Arsenal play Liverpool. Big ones to come. But for match week 20, from Glenn and from Jolien and myself, we'll see you next time. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.